This is Tim's testimony. I was raised as an altar boy from the time I was 8 years old until I turned 17. I was no stranger to church and attended church on a regular basis as I was growing up and even into my early 20s. It wasn't until the fall of '93 that I learned about who Jesus was and I needed Jesus into my life. I was searching for something and didn't know why or who. I used to tell my friend that I was the devil's right-hand man. I used to brag about all the bad things I was doing. I found myself constantly trying to fill a void that I was feeling inside. As far as everyone else knew, I was happy-go-lucky. I was too proud to tell people what I was feeling, and it was so much easier to do the wrong things that I was doing. It was so much easier to pretend that everything was fine. I saw my friend Bruce on a regular basis while I was supervisor at a local ambulance company. Bruce was one of the town police officers that everyone knew, and he was one of my best friends. One day, Bruce came up to the ambulance garage to visit us. As I looked at Bruce, I saw there was something different about him. I didn't know what, but I could just feel something was different on that particular day. It bothered me so much that I pulled Bruce to the side and asked him what had changed about him, that there was such a glow about him. Bruce replied, "Well, it's funny that you say that because just the other day I got saved." I said to him, "What do you mean?" And Bruce proceeded to tell me he accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. I, being me, told Bruce that he was crazy, and I told him that would never happen to me. I had it too good the way I was, being the devil's right-hand man. Bruce explained to me that when God calls you, it's the greatest thing that can happen to you. So I decided to sit back and wait for my friend Bruce to change back to his old ways. 1 year, 2 years, and still Bruce was walking with the Lord. Bruce would stop to talk to me during that time and would tell me about a Bible study that he was attending on his house on Tuesday nights. He would always tell me that I was invited anytime and was always welcome. I would tell Bruce to get out of here with all that nonsense, and he would just look at me and smile and say, "You wait, you'll see." And then the fall of 1993. One day I was out driving around and found myself going to my friend Bruce's house for some unknown reason. It just happened to be Tuesday night, and I pulled into the driveway and knocked on the front door. My friend opened the door and told me to come on in. As I was walking in up the stairs, I could hear people talking, and I realized that it was one of those Bible study group things. I told my friend that I needed to go, and he asked me, "No, just stay." And he told me, "They're almost done anyway." So I agreed to stay and sat on the staircase next to the door while they were starting the group prayers. I didn't want to be rude, so I bowed my head as they were started to pray. It was at this point that I felt a presence around me. It was something I could not explain. I didn't know why, but I started to pray to God and ask Jesus to come into my life. I told God that I didn't want to be the way that I was anymore. I told God that I knew that I was a sinner and that I needed his son, Jesus Christ, in my life. I asked God to forgive me of my sins and accepted his son as my Lord and Savior. I felt so at peace and as though God was speaking directly to me. I finished praying, and as I looked up, I found my friend Bruce and all the other people at the Bible study looking at me with love in their eyes. One man said to me, "Brother, welcome to the family." I guess I didn't even realize that I had been praying out loud in front of everyone in the room. I went home that night with such joy in my heart. John 14:27. "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, nor let it be afraid." God has blessed me with my wife Monica and our daughter Jenna, along with our sons Thomas and Andrew and Eric. Monica and I start each day giving together and praying together and thanking God for all of our blessings. I now seek God on a daily basis in my walk with him. I finally understand what it means to have a relationship with God. I have met several new people attending Bridgewater in small group, truly believe that iron sharpens iron.
Wow. Well, thank you for that great testimony. Step on in. Have you accepted Christ as your personal Savior?
I have.
Upon your profession of faith, I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Buried in the likeness of his death, raised to walk in newness of life.